Hey, how's it going? It's about 8:10 in the morning on the 19th of January, Friday, 8:06, 7 in the morning, just turned 07. My roommate left, like, freaking, in 2 days it'll be a month. Oh my god, I need a new roommate. So, yeah, today's the day where I'm actually gonna, like, go to a roommate, look for a roommate, finish organizing the house. Yesterday, got kind of late, and I was working, and I felt really bad yesterday because I had a hangover. I had my little party, my end of the 160,000 person party that I was planning on having, but this like $15 bottle of Jägermeister. I can't remember know how big it is, but it made me really hungover because the other one that I did a couple weeks ago, like on my birthday, but this one made me feel bad. I had like a headache in the back, but then I had like pain in my lower back, like really bad pain, and then really bad throbbing pain in my left hip. And then I even pulled out the side of my back when I was adjusting, watching a movie, and that was like painful. And then my left ankle hurts, and then my left calf tears sometimes when I walk. So, yeah, so I decided, yeah, I'm gonna get back in shape. So I was working like in the first part of the day, and then I walk here because I got kind of early, and then my mom came at noon because she was gonna take me to get a haircut. So we went and got a haircut that she paid for because I don't have any money. And then we went to the dollar store, which was right next to it, and I got like 6 different Matchbox cars because they're only $1.25, and she got a bunch of cleaning supplies. And then she went to like Costco, dropped me off here, and then went off to like Costco. And so I was here. Oh, but before she came in the morning, I was working. I was working on the law code. So I worked on the law code for like a day, and I'm not gonna work as the primary anymore. From now on, everything that in my life revolves around getting in shape. Well, first organizing the place, get a roommate, and then get in shape. So I have to figure out my bike, get the bike computer working. I don't have any. It's kind of cool that it's in the wintertime because I don't have money. I don't want to go outside. I don't have any money for insurance. I don't have any insurance. So I should just stay here until I can figure that out. Working out my house. I think I'm going to get a gym membership though because there's a big gym across the street, 24-hour fitness. It's not open 24 hours, but that's fine because I'm going to be not diurnal. So, but I was working on my on the law code, and I did 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 54, and 5 was really big, and I had to bust it up. So I decided to put all 54 law codes in their own folder, so it doesn't get like confusing when I bust it up. And 54 has 5 chapters, and I did the first 3. Putting all the data in there, and and then dragging the date over to the date slot because there's a different a gray color background for that. So then I only had to do 4 and 5, but I have to put them inside. Yeah, and then after, but I think I'm gonna put them inside of the border first because they might be their own book because of the size. So I'll build a 4 and 5, and then see if I can pop them in like overnight, just a cut and paste job. See if I can pop them in book 5. But I was doing 6 too. I was doing 5 and 6 at the same time in the beginning because I forgot that the computer's interpaced. And I think I'm like halfway through book 6 too, and book 6 hasn't had to be broken up yet. So then I realized if I'm going to work all the time, this is before I decided I have to retire from this, but if I'm going to work all the time, I have to have one computer do Dreamweaver and one Google Earth because if they're doing the same program, they interfere with each other. And I even kind of screwed something up. I have to fix some things. You know, like I would see something copied from one computer, pasted on the other. And so I realized that my old 2015 computer is actually faster with Dreamweaver than my 2017 computer. It doesn't freeze as much. It freezes long. So I was doing Google Earth, I mean, I was doing Dreamweaver with my 2015 computer, and I decided to get started with the space calibration for the 160,000 people on the Google Earth from my 2017 computer. So, in the background, you have the 160,000 people, and they all have their own backgrounds and everything for them. But if you're looking at it from the top, you can see the bottom below it. So then you can then calibrate in sizes. So I put in a Ugera, which is a Roman acre. It's 0.625 of an acre. 171 and a half by 51 and a half and a quarter like meters. So I made a square, only like about the same shape and only like 80% the size of 1,000 people on my project. And then I built lines out to the edges so that you could grow them 1 jugera and then 2 jugera like that, and then 3 jugera, 4 all on. But then I realized no, that's not realistic because if they're going to make a colony and they're going to give infantry 1 jugera and a cavalry 2 jugera, they're not going to give the cavalry a plot of 2 jugera that's like 1 jugera the same size, same shape, only double the size. What they're going to do is they're give them 2 lots of the 1 jugera next to them. Duh. So I was like, all right, yeah, because I already made the second jugera, second size. I mean, I thought it'd be kind of cool. Look at it, do it like that. Maybe I could do something else like that, like with the hectares. I could do hectares like that. I think I will. Hectares will come up in like squares from the center, but then the jugera, and then because these are lines that you can see overlapping each other. So then I put the jugera, 1 jugera, pink, and then orange 2 there. But then instead of yellow 3 on the top of orange 2, because it has to grow out from the middle, the jugera, the acres. So 3 would then be on the other side of 1, right? So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you would grow it out like this until you get up to, well, 500 jugera, if you can fit 500 jugera in there. I can't remember if you could because it's more or less the same size, because that's the maximum limit they had in the law. Yeah, so that's the first one, and then you could do you could then have hectares grow out like this, and then you could even have a size, not maybe a size, yeah, or another type of a size or distance in circles. But then on the edges, left edge could be speed, of cars, right edge speed of bikes, upper edge distance of throws, lower edge distance of something else like shots. So yeah, there's a lot of cool, interesting stuff. I didn't get around to building the second jugera, the second acre, and putting it next to the first one, because that's when my mom came over and we went to the thing. And then when she came back, and she was like, because I left a message on her, a bunch of text for like 2 hours saying I was going to fucking kill her, and I was pissed off and everything. Because last night, or night before last, when I was drunk, I started to, I think I was paying attention to, maybe I didn't feel good. And I was like, oh man, I should probably get back in shape. But then, but every time I get back in shape, my mom is like, tells me that I need to get a job, even when I'm not talking about money. And I'm like, bitch, do you realize how hard it is to get in shape? Like, I'm like, if I'm not training, I'm like laying in bed, like exhausted, or I'm trying to work on a website. Like, that's not, you don't get a job, dude. What you do is you sell stuff if you have to sell stuff, or you don't spend money. But but it'll completely throw a wrench in. There's no way in hell a fucking 50-year-old who hasn't exercised most of his life is gonna become a really good athlete if I have to work part-time. I ain't gonna work, dude. The only reason I'm even thinking about this is because I think I can get away with it. So it's all about money, man. It has nothing to do. I don't even watch these David Goggins or whatever motivational speakers, because it's not. Life isn't about motivation or this or that. It's about fucking money, dude. If you have money, you can do anything. You're a god with money. You don't even need that much. Give somebody a couple thousand. Somebody doesn't have a house, give them $1,000 a month. And they could, if they're capable. Anyways, yeah, so I mean, my website is big as it is because of the fact that I was able to sit around on my couch and work all day long. If I can't sit around my couch and work all day long, that website ain't existing, and nobody's gonna help me. Nobody's gonna give me any money for it, and until I explain it some more. So, anyways, so yeah, my mom was telling me like, dude, like you hit rock bottom. That's bad. Like you can't go crazy like that. I'm probably gonna like, and then I realized I'm probably gonna develop physical problems that are gonna end up costing me money, and then it's gonna shorten my life, and it's gonna end up in the long run finish my website early. I won't get as far on the website because I won't live as long, and there's no race with the website. Like I get a little bit too self-important. I was telling my mom this, and I'm not as like, the world doesn't depend on my website as much as like maybe I think it does. You know what I mean? A little bit narcissistic. So like I could finish the website when I'm my mom's age, when I'm like 82. And it's good enough. I don't have to finish it when I'm 55 and then die when I'm 60. I could finish it when I'm 90 and have a much bigger, nicer, more developed site. And not freak people out with just like working all the time. But then the main thing though that I worked out in my head, and it was an epiphany that I had when I was in the dollar store. It's about ego. It's about ego. I figured it out with two ways. So one thing that keeps me wanting to work on the website is my ego. I have to have like the best website. It's already the best website. It's just not done yet. So when I'm riding my bike and I'm here like, what the fuck am I doing riding my bike? I'm wasting my life. I need to finish my site. It's like, wait, no, you don't. The site's good enough. Another reason is my mom really insists, and she's like, she would get really pissed and upset with me if I were to not get back in shape now and just work all the time. And the other reason is she needs me because she's just about to have a shoulder replacement. And she's 82, which are extremely difficult to recover from. And so she's not going to be able to move because she can't walk anymore. Because she stopped being able to walk because she never exercised in her life. She's just a fat lady. And when you're a fat non-exerciser for whatever reason, not athletic, by the time you're 80, you literally fall apart. So her hip muscles became detached. All of her hip muscles became detached, so she couldn't walk. And then her shoulder muscle became like blown out because of all of the support on the cane. And so she has to walk with a walker, but she can barely even do that. She had 2 knee replacements already, 2 eye replacements or cornea replacements, and then and now a shoulder. So I was like, get the other shoulder. So anyways, that's another reason for me to get back in shape. I could be like, hey, Mom, I did this. I rode 100 miles today. I lift weights. Now you go. And she'd be like, yeah. That really rubs off on family members and friends. If you start exercising, it rubs off, dude. Like big time. Like you'll start noticing they'll be like working out on their own and stuff. I saw it with my roommate, Mike, right before he moved out. And then, and even a friend down in Chile. So anyways, oh, look, my little guy's sticking his head through the sand. You're supposed to poop and pee in there. They don't understand that that's for pooping and peeing. They think it's for playing, and then they poop and they pee like on the floor. Anyways, no, but then I had the main epiphany, the ego related. So, and I explained this to my mom, and she doesn't even agree that other than the test. So it was hard for me to explain it to her. I had to explain it to her like 5 times before she would get it. But so I have this bi-weekly history test because the Romans would every 2 weeks the Romans would put on 60-pound backpacks, and they'd have a race where they'd run out 10 miles, just straight 10 miles out from the city and 10 miles back. Every 2 weeks, 20-mile race with 60 pounds on their backs. And they didn't say race, they just said exercise, but of course it was a race. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. You have a bi-weekly history test to make sure you stay fit with your history. And then, of course, I have it with fitness, too, the way the Romans did it, only it's not every 2 weeks. It's every, 3 months, where you would record every month you would record how fast you can go on a bike. But every 2 weeks, it's the brain thing. And so for an hour, random number generator tells you between 1 and 200 if you're doing the 0 to 2000s, because there's a BC and ancient history one as well, and even a last 100 years ones. But it gives you the random number generator So if it gives you 165 from 0 to 200, that means it's the 1660s. And so you have to know what happened in the 1660s. That would have been Newton published calculus, as long Newton and Leibniz invented calculus together. Well, independently, but at the same year, in the 1660. The English King Charles was beheaded at the end of their civil war, and then Charles Cromwell became protector for about 10 years, and then his son, Doofus' son, was for a couple of years. Anyway, so there you go. And I just came that number randomly in my head. Luckily, I landed on something I could say something about, because my idea was that oh man, I got like a brain fart. I'm looking at my little ferret running around. My idea is that you do the random number generator, and then you have a minute to talk about it, and then you have to say whatever things that are in the Wikipedia, and other people can grade you. That's a way for you can be social with it. You can grade each other. You can grade yourself, grade each other. But the problem is, like, it's a random number generator. So and you're talking about 200 decades. It could be very easy to get your ass handed to you. I did the test once a few years ago for an hour, and I was going to upload it, but I forgot to record. Like, I hit start and it didn't record, and I did the whole damn thing for an hour, and I was going to upload it, but I got my ass kicked. And so I was telling my mom, like, because this is what I was planning on doing before. I was planning on just working on the website, studying history, getting really good at history, working out the timeline, get really good at history from the timeline, and then I would take the test. And I would take the test every 2 weeks, and I would kick ass at the test every 2 weeks, and then I'd get back in shape, and then I would tell other people to take the test. Well, what's the problem with that? This is the problem. And I don't think like this, but I know how other people think. The problem with that is if I go, hey, you, Mr. Smarty Pants, take my 2-week history test. Even if it's a history professor, my 2-week history test, with the random number generator, go. Number one, they probably don't even have a YouTube channel. So why would I expect them? It's like baby steps. Why would I expect them to go from 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour in one day? Number two, actually that's number two. Number one, why in the hell would I expect somebody to take a biweekly history test and get their asses kicked if I'm kicking ass? Because you know how that's going to appear to be like. It's going to appear to be like it's like I'm cheating. It's like I'm on EPO and blood doping. I'm like, because I just spent my entire life studying for this particular test and doing my mind to every time I study history to know what date it happened, and then I take the test. It's kind of like I'm trying to rub people's face in it. It's kind of like I'm trying to be like make people feel bad for being stupid and stuff. And so somebody could be like, well, you're doing well because you've been studying. Why should I do it? You're trying. So then what I can do, I can be like, look, I started taking the test before I started studying and got really good at history. So that's why if I start training now, I can throw in that test and I can get my ass kicked at the test, and I do the test every 2 weeks getting my ass kicked. That'll actually motivate me big time to study history so that I won't embarrass myself. And so when they go, oh, but I can't do it because it's too much to ask because you're doing it differently because you studied first. I can be like, oh, no, I didn't. Look at my very first ones. I kicked my ass kicked. You could probably kick my ass with that first one. So if I'm going to challenge somebody to do something, I need to encourage them and tell them that they think they could beat me. I need to tell them that I think they could beat me. I don't need to be here like, oh, I can beat you, I'm better than you, I can beat you. No, I can be like, I think you could beat me, I think you're better than me. Look at my very first test. Look at my 5th test that I took that I had really bad, I won't say it to them, but I had really bad luck and I got really bad decades that I didn't know. But look how bad I did. I didn't get score 1 point. You can beat me. And then they could get lucky and land on a bunch of decades that are easy and beat me. And then I'd be like, you're better than me, haha, right? And then it's not like I'm thumbing my nose at people. So there's my excuse to start exercising now. And then the website, and then when I get my ass kicked on the test, it'll make me want to work on the website on that particular, or listen to a book in that particular thing. So basically get started now. Because I'm 50 and like, I don't know, maybe when the aliens fucked with our DNA, they made it so that right when you turn 50, you fall apart. I don't want to do like, I wanted to nip those aliens in the bud. Because like my lower back, man, was like hurting really bad. Like when I'm walking, and then when I'm sitting and walking, my hip would be throbbing in pain. And I never had an injury. It's just, I'm gonna need a hip replacement without ever having an injury. When I'm like 55, and it's like, why did you need a hip? Do you have bad genetics? It's like, no, dude, I didn't exercise for all those years. I cut off the circulation to my fucking joints. So, those little bastards, they're not doing it right. I'm gonna have to show this to my mom. They're never gonna poop in there. Whatever. So anyways, I could have gotten up earlier, but I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to smoke as much weed as I can. Maybe I'll even get an energy drink. So once I start training, I'm not going to drink energy drinks anymore. I only drink energy drinks to augment my stoniness and to have something to do while I smoke weed. And I like the taste of it, and I like watching, like, I don't know, I try to watch something interesting on YouTube. Oh, so yesterday my mom came back after we went to the store, and we saw some movie by Tyler Perry called, like, the Five Girls Club or something, which is kind of fun, slow movie. But we were both exhausted, and I was exhausted, and I just needed to relax. And then she left, and, like, right before she left, I saw previews to this movie called, oh, man, my computer. Called, God, my memory, dude. I can't remember a goddamn thing ever. No Hard Feelings. It's called No Hard Feelings by Jennifer Aniston. And I saw the preview, and I was like, oh, I gotta see this. So I watched it, like with my big TV, not even working on my computer. And, she gets butt naked on the beach, like with her pussy out and everything, and her ass, and she's got a nice body. And beats up like 3 people on the beach. It's funny. And then I saw it, and then I got kind of groggy, dude. And I was like, oh shit, it was like 8, so I went to sleep. Yeah, so I diurnalized. And so, yeah, and so I'm like so messed up. I'm so fucked with money, man. Like all of my credit cards are maxed except for one. That's where I spend my money. I owe $2,500 in taxes next month, and I have no way to pay it. And I really don't want to get a job because that'll make me like beyond depressed. Like I will cease to function if that happens. Because I'll come home and I'll be all like, I'm so old and out of shape. And I'll come home and I'll be like, I'm so old and out of shape, and I only have like a half hour to exercise because then I need to go to sleep to get ready for work tomorrow. Like, oh my God. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna also use my spare time to try to fix up my money making, my money raising. Nobody donates a single penny to me because I think that it's imperative to put the entirety of the U.S. Law Code on my website because you can turn the U.S. Law Code into a book. The Code of Hammurabi is a book. I listened to it twice last week. It's absolutely fascinating because every single law that they make, you know that they made that law because that thing happened a bunch of times and they had a problem. So then I picture, like in the Code of Hammurabi, you're not allowed to store your gold at your friend's house unless you draw up a contract. Oh, and you know what else? The Code of Hammurabi is all about insurance. They had a very highly developed system of insurance. If your boat sinks, everybody else would chip in and fix it. If somebody else burns down your house, everybody else has to chip in and rebuild your house for you in your neighborhood. Isn't that cool? All sorts of codes like that, man. They were very, and if like a lion eats you in the field, like the people have to go and like your neighbors have to chip in and help pay your debts for your house. If a lion eats you in your field, and they're in like Iran. There used to be forests up there and stuff. So and then you have the Code of Justinian, which is basically a book that you can read. So if you can read the Code of Justinian and the Code of Hammurabi like a book, why would you not read the U.S. Law Code like a book? The U.S. Law Code's a book. So if you're going to turn the U.S. Law Code into a book, you have to have it all in one page. So that you can hit Control-A, select all, right click, speech to text, text to speech, boom, and then you listen to the book. And then you have the entire law code. And then we also have to know how big the law code is. So just stuff like that. Like I need to explain what I'm doing so that I can get a little bit of donation money so that I don't have to get a job because that'll make me just beyond depressed. And I also need to start my cards, my punch cards. emptied out. So I need to blow more money on keeping this expensive ass Savannah monitor that I shouldn't have bought alive. So, anyways, that's what's going on with me today. It's just 100% clean the apartment, get photos, write up a good ad, and try to get a roommate in here. But as soon as that's done, it ain't going to the website. That's what it normally would be, going right to that law code and try. And I think I could probably get book 5 up there, like by today. You know, I could probably do a law code a day. You don't know how big each one of them is, but maybe like a couple months, the entire law code. You know, if you're working all day long. So doing part time, I'll just do that. But it's kind of like a big bang for the buck thing, that law code. Like it's so important to get that up there because people don't really know the law. I was watching these people interviewing MAGA, and right on the title, I didn't even see the video, but it was on Young Turks, and I think I'll watch the video maybe today. But the title says MAGA supporter. I haven't read a book since the Bernstein Bears. Yeah, and I've heard other when they interview other, they're like, "Do you read?" And they're like, "Nah, I don't read," or "Sure, I read a book a couple years ago," or "No, I don't read." They don't read. Like they proudly don't read. And then they ask them a couple times, "Have you read the Constitution?" "No, I ain't read the Constitution." "How come you ain't read the Constitution? It's 36 pages. You can get through it in 15 minutes. It's like, don't you sit at the bus stop for 15 minutes every single day? Why wouldn't you sit and listen to the Constitution? It's because we're all conditioned to get allergic to any kind of words. People can't read, so that's why it's that important to get the. It's almost more important than my whole physical well-being to get that law code in its entirety on the internet. Okay, so I hope you appreciate that I'm able to tear myself away from the most important thing that anybody could ever do: put that law code on the internet. And now I'm going to be a narcissist and get in shape just for myself. But it's actually not true. It's for my mom. I'm doing it for my mom. And my mom, you know, I'm 50 and my mom's 82, and we're kind of like past the stage where she can yell at me and like order me around like I'm 10. And it's like my mom doesn't have long left because she's so old. It's like, well, let's let my mom steer me around some, you know? Let's let my mom give me some orders and listen to her. Because what she's telling me to do, it's what I actually want to do anyway. You know? So I just can't have, but I just hope to God she doesn't turn around after a week and go, "Obsessive compulsive, go get a job." Oh, you're completely off the fucking mark, man. You don't know what I'm doing. It drives me crazy when people around me don't understand what's going on. No, actually, it doesn't drive me crazy at all. I have one person around me. I need that one person around me to understand what's going on, or I'm going to fucking lose my shit. Because Paula doesn't really get it. Yeah. But, the growlings do. The teenagers do. I don't want to talk about that story, but yeah, the teenagers do. Okay, talk to you tomorrow.